Peppa Pig, Peppa's Rainbow. Peppa and her family are going to the mountains. Let's play a game, says Daddy Pig. We each have to spot a car of our favorite color. Yes, Peppa and George cheer. This will be fun. Let's see which color car comes along first, says Daddy Pig. Peppa is excited. Her favorite color is red. Beep beep. Peppa and her family see a green car. Green is my favorite color, says Daddy Pig. I win. Next, Peppa and her family see Danny and Grandad Dog in an orange tow truck. Orange is my favorite color, says Mommy Pig. I win. The next car is blue. Blue is George's favorite color. Yes, George, says Daddy Pig. It's a blue car, so you win. Peppa is disappointed. There isn't a red car anywhere, she says. Daddy Pig gets an idea. What color is our car? He asks. Peppa thinks about it. It's red, she says. I win, I win. Peppa and her family arrive at the top of the mountains, but it started to rain. The best thing to eat in rainy weather is ice cream. Thankfully, Miss Rabbit's ice cream cart is not far. 4 ice creams, please, says Daddy Pig. He chooses mint, orange, strawberry, and blueberry flavors. Ice cream! Cheers, Peppa. And look, says Mommy Pig, they are our favorite colors. Soon the sun appears and something else too, a rainbow. A rainbow comes out only when it's rainy and sunny at the same time. That is because the light from the sun shines through the water of the rain. It's got all our favorite colors in it, says Mommy Pig. The colors in the rainbow are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Mommy Pig says that sometimes you find treasures at the end of the rainbow. Let's go, Peppa shouts. Mommy Pig drives to the edge of a mountain. But when they arrive, it stopped raining and the rainbow is gone. There is something over here, Daddy Pig says. It's a big muddy puddle. Muddy puddles are made when the ground gets wet. Yay! This is the best rainbow treasure ever, says Peppa. Peppa loves rainbow. Everyone loves rainbows. Around the world with Peppa. It is almost summer break. Peppa is outside with her friends. What are you doing this summer? Asks Windy Wolf. I am going to the park, says Peppa. Peppa is excited. She is going to spend the summer jumping in lots of muddy puddles. I am going to the jungle, says Pedro Pony. We are going to the desert, says Emily and Edmund Elephant. I am going to the mountains, says Danny Dog. I am going to the South Pole, says Susie Sheep. The next day, Peppa and her family are driving to the park. The car goes chaka chaka chaka, bang, clang, bong. Oh dear, says Daddy Pig, the car broke down. Mommy Pig calls for help. Look, says Peppa, here comes Miss Rabbit. Miss Rabbit says it will take all day long to fix the car. Do not worry, she says, you can borrow my aeroplane. Everyone climbs into the aeroplane. Mommy Pig wants to drive. Are we supposed to be upside down? Asks Daddy Pig. Our next stop is the park, says Mommy Pig. To jump in muddy puddles? Cheers, Peppa. Daddy Pig opens his map. I see some trees, he says. This must be the park. Where are the swings and slides? Asks Peppa. This looks like a jungle, says Mommy Pig. Peppa and friend Pedro is in the jungles. Mommy Pig lands the plane on the ground. They find Pedro. The jungle is fun, says Pedro. There are parrots and monkeys. Can we visit my other friends too? Asks Peppa. Of course, says Mommy Pig. It is Daddy Pig's turn to fly the airplane. Where next? He asks. Daddy Dog is in the mountains, says Peppa. Danny Dog is climbing a big mountain with Captain Dog. Daddy Pig lands the aeroplane on the mountain. Hello, Danny, shouts Peppa. This mountain is very high. Peppa and her family fly away again. Soon, Daddy Pig sees spots of yellow sand. It must be the desert, he says. Mommy Pig lands the aeroplane on the sand. It is not easy. They find Emily and Edmund Elephant. We saw a lizard, says Edmund. It must be shy because it ran away. Then the lizard jumps on a rock. There it is, Daddy Pig shouts. He scares the lizard away again. Dr. Elephant signs. Do you have other people to visit? He asks. Next, they fly to the South Pole. There are lots of penguins and Susie is there. Peppa, says Susie. Peppa and Susie are best friends. They are very happy to see each other again. Peppa has fun with Susie and penguins, but Peppa still has to go to the park. Peppa and her family get in the plane. They fly back around the world to get home. Hello, Miss Rabbit, says Peppa. We flew all the way around the world. Wonderful! Your car is working again, says Miss Rabbit. Peppa and George climb inside. Flying around the world was nice, says Peppa, but something was missing. A muddy puddle. Snort. Hee 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 hee. Snort. The end. Peppa Pig. When I grow up. Today in school, Madam Gazelle asks the children what they would like to be when they grow up. She has a basket full of fun hats for them to choose from. The children are so excited to dress up. They run to the basket and each grab their items. Madam Gazelle, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, Peppa says. Don't worry, Peppa. You have plenty of time to think about it, Madam Gazelle replies. You can use the costumes to help you decide. Rebecca Rabbit knows what she wants to be when she grows up. She wants to be a queen. Queens get to wear crowns and tell others what to do. Emily Elephant wants to be a teacher. Wonderful, says Madame Gazelle. Teachers are very important. What is it about being a teacher that you like the most, Emily? Teachers get to be in charge, Emily replies. I see, says Madame Gazelle. I want to be a police officer when I grow up, says Freddy Fox. The police drive cars with the flashing lights and sirens. Me too, says Windy Wolf. She is dressed as a sheriff. A sheriff is a kind of police officer who is in charge of all the other police officers. Thank you, Freddie and Wendy. What else do you like about being a police officer? Asked Madame Gazelle. They tell others what to do, replied Freddie and Wendy. Next, it was Susie Sheep's turn to share. I would like to be a doctor or a nurse, says Susie Sheep. How lovely! Why do you think you would like that job, Susie? Asked Madame Gazelle. Because they help someone who is sick to get better. And they tell others what to do, Susie Sheep says. Madame Gazelle explains to her students that jobs are about more than being in charge. Some jobs, like a doctor or a teacher, are about helping others. Some jobs are about creating something new, like a builder or an artist. Pedro Pony wants to be a superhero. Being a superhero is a very important job, Madame Gazelle says. You have to run faster than a train, jump tall buildings, and I don't know if I want to do all those superhero things, but I do want to tell bad guys what to do, says Pedro Pony. On the way home from school, Peppa tells Mommy Pig about her day. So tell me, what did you learn today? Mommy Pig asked. Madame Gazelle asked us what we want to be when we grow up, says Peppa. George, do you know what you want to be when you grow up? Mommy Pig asked. Dinosaur. Cheers, George. You see, says Peppa. Don't worry, Peppa. You have plenty of time to decide what you want to be, Mommy Pig replies. What do you do, Mommy? Asks Peppa. I work on computer, Mommy Pig answers. Do you get to tell others what to do? Peppa asks. No, I don't, reply Mommy Pig. Well, that's no good then, says Peppa. Soon, Daddy Pig comes home from work. What is your job, Daddy? Asks Peppa. I could tell you, Peppa, but I think you find it a bit boring, replies Daddy Pig. I would not, Daddy. Please tell me, please, says Peppa, snort. Well, Peppa, I work in a big office and help plan big important buildings, Daddy Pig explains, and I get to carry a briefcase and wear a suit. Do you like your job, Daddy? Peppa asks. I like it, But not everyone would, Daddy Pig explains. Everyone is different, Peppa. That night, Peppa is still thinking. What can I do when I grow up? Asked Peppa. Think of something you like doing all the time, says Daddy Pig. I like jumping up and down in muddy puddles, Peppa says. Well, Peppa, there are not many jobs with puddle jumping, Daddy Pig explains. But I'm very good at puddle jumping, Peppa says. Yes, I suppose you are, Daddy Pig agrees. When I grow up, I will show everyone in the world how to jump in muddy puddles. That sounds like a very good idea, says Daddy Pig as he shuts off the light. The end.
Peppa Pig, Peppa's Pizza Party. It is lunchtime at Peppa's house. Can we make pizzas? Peppa asks. George loves pizza. So do Mommy and Daddy Pig. Peppa is excited to start, but first everyone must wash their hands. They use soap and water to get all clean. When they are done washing, they gather ingredients to make our pizzas, Daddy Pig says. We need flour, tomato chimes in Mommy Pig, cheese, continues Daddy Pig, and toppings. But wait, there is something missing. George likes pineapple on his pizza, Peppa says. Pineapple? Daddy Pig repeats. On pizza? I think that's against the law. He, Peppa laughs. Daddy Pig is being silly. It is not against the law to put pineapple on pizza. Now it is time to make the pizzas. Mommy Pig puts the flour into a bowl. Then she adds water. This mixture will become pizza dough. Tasty! Mommy Pig sprinkles a little flour on the table so that the dough does not stick. Then with their clean hands, Peppa and George knead the dough. Bam, bam, bam. I am big and strong, Peppa says, and George is big and strong too. Next, they make the dough into 4 balls. This will become 4 pizza pies. Mommy Pig rolls the dough balls flat with her rolling pin. Oh, says Peppa, they look like pizzas now. Mommy and Daddy Pig make a sauce with the tomatoes. Then Peppa and George smooth it over the dough. I like making pizza, snort, Peppa says. It's so fun. Now it is time to decorate the pizzas. Can we make happy faces on the top? Peppa asks. Of course we can, replies Daddy Pig. I will use mushrooms to make eyes and olives for the smile. And I will use onions for the eyes and basil for the smile, says Mommy Pig. Peppa uses sweet corn for smile and little tomatoes for the eyes. George has pineapple for the eyes and cheese for the smile. Mommy Pig puts on her oven mitts. Then she places the pizzas in the oven to bake. When the pizzas are done, Peppa, George, Mommy Pig and Daddy Pig eat in the garden. Their pizzas are very good. These are the best pizzas in the world, says Peppa. Peppa loves pizza. Everyone loves pizza. The end. Please don't.
Today's story is Peppa Pig on the road. Peppa and her family live in the United Kingdom. Peppa loves her home, but she has always wanted to visit other places too. While making dinner, Peppa spots something shiny. It is a golden ticket. Peppa and her family have won a trip to star in Hash Brown and Super Potato's new movie. The movie is being filmed in Hollywood, which is in America, Peppa shouts. Miss Rabbit flies Peppa and her family all the way across the ocean. They land in New York City. In New York City, Peppa meets another Miss Rabbit. Every town needs a Miss Rabbit, says the Miss Rabbit from New York. She does not sound like the Miss Rabbit that Peppa is used to, though. She has an American accent. Peppa and her family hop into Miss Rabbit's cab for a tour of New York City. From top of the Empire State Building, Peppa uses a telescope. "Look at me," says Peppa. She poses with her ice cream, just like the Statue of Liberty. But looking at a sign for Super Potato makes Peppa remember they have to make it to Hollywood for the movie. Peppa learns that Hollywood is on the other side of America. She and her family rent a motor home to drive there. A motor home is like a house on wheels. It's a long, long drive. Peppa and her family stop at a diner in the Midwest. It is a place to stretch their legs, use the bathroom, and also to eat. "Howdy, Fox," says another Miss Rabbit. "Come on in." Inside the diner, Peppa and her family eat some fresh eggs made on the grill. Then Mr. Bobcat, and his band play music, and everyone joins in the square dancing, including Mommy and Daddy Pig. Peppa and George lead a dance. "Jump up and down like you are in a puddle," sings Peppa, while the band plays music. After the dance, there is a monster truck show. Peppa watches as Mr. Coyote leaps over a big muddy puddle in his monster truck. "Wow," Peppa says. She's never seen anything like it. Daddy Pig can't resist. It's such a great time. He splashes in the mud. It's good, messy fun. Peppa loves her visit to the country diner, but it's time to keep traveling to Hollywood. Peppa and her family are back on the road. "America is very big country," says Mommy Pig. "The desert goes on for miles and miles and miles and miles." Still, Peppa finds a way to make the road trip fun. They find treasures along the way, like shells. A long time ago, the desert was the sea. As Peppa and her family continue on, they spot Mr. Bison. "Stop," calls Mr. Bison. Peppa and her family have come upon a canyon. Peppa learns that canyon was carved out by a river a long time ago. A canyon is a deep valley. They come in all shapes and sizes. There are lots of other canyons too. They call this one the Grand Canyon. At the canyon, Peppa meets another Miss Rabbit. Miss Rabbit sells lots of canyon tickets. She also sells tours. Peppa and her family climb into Miss Rabbit's helicopter. These rocks have been here since the time of the dinosaur, Miss Rabbit explains. Wow, Peppa says. The next part of the tour is by boat. One by one, Peppa and her family climb down a ladder and into a raft. Yuppie, squeals Peppa. The rapids carry the raft safely through the canyon. When Peppa and her family arrive at the canyon caves, at first they seem empty. But Miss Rabbit is there to guide them. She explains that the people who lived in the caves a long time ago drew pictures on the walls. The drawings tell a story. A story? That reminds Peppa. Hash Brown and Super Potatoes movie. It's time to keep traveling to Hollywood. Are we nearly there yet? Asked Peppa back in the motor home. You are almost there, says another Miss Rabbit. Just look for the stars. After a long time, Peppa sees stars on the ground. She looks up. There is Super Potato and Hash Brown. She made it to Hollywood. Super Potato shows Peppa the movie studio. It's time to make the movie Vegetables in Space. We look funny in our costumes, says Peppa the broccoli. Lights, camera, action! It's time for the movie to begin. Super Potato is filming a battle sequence between himself and some naughty carrots. But Super Potato does not know how to end the movie. How will we get rid of all these carrots? He asks. Peppa knows just how to save the universe and the movie. We can eat the carrots, says Peppa. All the Miss Rabbits are happy to help. The universe is saved thanks to Peppa and all the Miss Rabbits. It's time to go home, but Peppa loved her visit to America. The best part was everything, she says. She can't wait for her next adventure on the road. The end. Peppa Pig. George catches a cold. Mommy Pig says Peppa and George can play in the rain, but they must wear rain clothes to keep dry. But George hates wearing his rain hat, so he has thrown it in a muddy puddle. Peppa knows that is not a good idea. Hee hee, snort, grunt. Come inside, children, calls Daddy Pig. It's raining too hard now. Where is your hat, George? asks Mommy Pig. Achoo! replies George. Oh dear, George has got a cold. Achoo! George cannot stop sneezing. Poor little George, says Mommy Pig. You don't look very well. Don't worry, I will call Dr. Brown Bear, says Daddy Pig. Will George go to the hospital? asks Peppa. No, George has to go to bed, replies Daddy. So George is not truly sick then, says Peppa, disappointed. George, you have to stay in bed until you are better, says Daddy Pig. Why? asks George. Because you have to keep warm, says Daddy. Dr. Brown Bear is here to see George. Open wide and say, ah, he says. George is little afraid of Dr. Brown Bear. He hides under his sheets with Mr. Dinosaur. Dr. Brown Bear asks Peppa to show George that he does not have to be scared. Ah, says Peppa. George laughs and comes out from under his sheets. He opens his mouth so Dr. Brown Bear can look. Oh, says George. George has got a cold, Dr. Brown Bear tells Mommy Pig. He can have some warm milk at bedtime to help him sleep. Thank you, Dr. Brown Bear, says Mommy Pig. You are welcome. Goodbye, says Dr. Brown Bear before driving off in his special white car. The next morning, George wakes up early. The warm milk made him sleep very well. Roar, cries George, waking up Peppa. He is feeling much better. Roar. It's a lovely sunny day, but George is wearing his rain hat. He does not want to catch another cold. Hee hee hee. Oh, George, you don't need to wear your hat when it is warm and sunny. Mommy Pig tells him. Hee hee hee. Everyone laughs. George never goes in the rain without his hat again. The end. I hope you enjoyed the story. Please don't forget to like, subscribe to Storytime with Sonia Panda. I will come back with another story.